Good evening. My name is Tharith. I am from Royal University of Phnom Penh, Cambodia. Before I start, let me thank Professor Nam Jun Cho for inviting me to this conference. The title of my talk is Study in Korea, Experience of an International Student from Southeast Asia. As you can see in this outline, I will start with experience of academic life in Korea. I will then continue to talk about how the experience helps in my research career development. I will then talk about what my research area and current work are. And I will finish with the discussion on how I interact with Korean scientists. Well, let me start with the first topic, which is on experience of academic life in Korea. As everyone knows, as a graduate student, we have to take coursework, conduct research, and do some other activities. For my case, in terms of coursework and trainings, I had a chance to learn from many different professors at Sogang University in terms of coursework. And those coursework are not found, of course, in my own country. And those are very useful for my research as well. And not only for this reason, but joining coursework kind of allowing me to have opportunity to interact with great scientists in Sogang University and also outside Sogang universities, aside from my own supervisors. Of course, while studying some coursework outside Sogang University, such as Yonsei University, I had a chance to interact with many graduate students and professors from different laboratories. This not only allowed me to fulfill my credit requirements, but also it was a chance for me to network. In terms of training, I had many opportunity to join interesting training for skill development. Those include Graphene Winter School, Academy Physics, and some other interesting trainings. For my own research, of course, as a person conducting research in physics, we had several experiments. And of course, for my own case, I had to conduct several experiments for different sub-projects. And with the result from the experiment, we have to discuss the results with our lab mates and professor during the lab meeting. And this lab meeting is normally conducted every Friday or Saturday. Aside from lab meeting, we also had lab seminars, which is normally every week. And of course, in terms of experiments, as I want to mention, we sometimes have to conduct the experiment overnight. Well, you might think that this is kind of difficult. But yes, whether it's difficult, it's kind of resulting me in some significant results. And this is kind of allowing me to have some result for conference participations. And in terms of conference participations, I join national and international conferences for my oral presentation, totally 7, and 14 poster presentation as well in some good conferences locally and internationally, such as American Physical Society March meeting, International Conference on Raman Spectroscopy, etc. And also by joining the conference, I had a chance to join my membership at American Physical Society, Korean Physical Society, Korea Photovoltaic Society, etc. Well, aside from joining conferences, uh, I got some significant results leading me to 3 paper publications at high impact factor journals, and of course another paper which is in preparations. So I hope that I can get it published very soon. Well, this slide is to discuss how the experience that I obtained from my study in Korea helped me in terms of research career development. As I mentioned, I got some scientific expertise and some great achievement, and this allowed me to have confidence in doing some other things. To give you an example, I am writing and submitting a research proposal, and this is a $1 million proposal where I am the principal investigator leading the project. And of course, we already submitted revisions to the research committee for approval. Aside from this kind of activity, I am also the physics coordinator in Sweden IUPP bilateral program. And this program is actually a supporting program by Sweden. This is a $10 million program. And of course, I am the coordinator to take care of one part of the whole project. Well, I also want to take this opportunity to show that my case is kind of special because I had to bring my family to Korea while I did my PhD right there. So what was difficult was that when my family first arrived there, we faced some difficulty, such as my family did not speak the local language. So it was kind of difficult for them to communicate with local people. And also when the kid went to school, they did not know the language. So it was difficult for them to adapt or to settle down right there. And also when they go to school, the instructions was in Korean. So as parent, we were not properly able to speak the Korean language. So this put us under pressure as parents. But I want to thank my professor who were kind enough in mentally and financially supporting us. So with this, it led us to very successful results, and then I, my own, recently finished my PhD. In terms of my research area and current work, as I mentioned earlier, my research area was in the optical characterization. I use mainly Raman spectroscopy, but also photoluminescence partially. So what I did first is to do the mechanical exfoliation for layered materials. Then I use atomic force microscopy, and I also collaborative work with some other scientists to get some XRD data, TEM, SEM, EDS results for my publications. Currently, as I mentioned previously, I propose a $1 million project. With this, I am going to establish an optical spectroscopy laboratory in this building on the right. This building is actually what we call Science, Technology, Engineering, Mathematics building, or STEM building simply. This is located inside our universities, and this is where I am going to put my research laboratory in. In terms of research that I focus on, it's two-dimensional material and also nanomaterials. Well, how do I interact with Korean scientists? As I mentioned during my PhD, my professor and I work collaboratively with some other scientists from Yonsei University and also Yeongnam universities to do some different projects. And with those collaboration, I had two papers where I was the author, the main author. While after coming back to my country, of course, after my PhD, as I mentioned, I write a $1 million research proposal to the higher education improvement project. So this project is actually a total of $90 million. This is a project loan by the World Bank, and I am the person taking lead of the proposed project. But with this project, two Korean professors are also involved, aside from two other postdoc research fellows. So these two research fellows, one is from Korea and the other one is from Japan. So, well, I think this is the important message that I want to convey. Korea is a country where you can learn from world-class scientists. This is the end of my presentation, and thank you very much for your attention.
Well, thank you so much. I also learned a lot from the US. Now we are getting together for future. Thank you.